everybody, John Mather from Beaver Lodge HQ, and welcome to our first video in the series of converting a HTML theme template to a fully fledged WordPress theme. So in this first video, which is the free video going out, we're going to take the HTML site we're going to build, we're going to upload that to our local directory, theme directory, and then we're going to configure that to load that as our WordPress theme, so we can select it as a theme and get exactly the same look as what we have here. So this is the HTML template we're going to start with. It's by templated.co and the template is called linear. So head over to templated.co/linear and click on download. Now I've already set up a local dev site here on my machine, on my PC. So I've got this is a clean site. The only thing I've done in the dashboard is I've removed all the default plugins and themes, which my installer does that automatically. You'll see I have no plugins installed, no themes installed except the default 2016, the default post, and the default page. The only other thing I've done is under media, I've unticked crop and organized folders into month and year base because I hate it when it does that, and I've just made it pretty permalinks. So let's go in and grab that downloaded folder. So in my downloads I have it here, and we want to extract that too. So now I'm working on a Arch Linux machine using Vagrant installer, so this is going to be different for wherever you're doing. If you're not using a local host, you'll need to FTP it up to your theme fault directory. If you're using a local development environment like desktop server, whatever the case may be, Zap, Web, LAMP, then I'm sure you'll understand how to do all this. But as I said, for me, this is running on a Vagrant machine on my Arch Linux, so it's a bit different where I'd put it. But basically, you need to navigate to your directory where your install is. Go to WP content and themes. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call this the linear theme, and we're going to extract into there. So let's just have a look at that. I'll just jump back into it. She'll open that. Linear content themes, and oops, let's just go and rename that. I've mistyped it. Linear, and in there we have all our index. So if I just open that, you can see we've got that all loaded from within my themes folder, which is great, but it's not a WordPress theme. You can see it hasn't got the WordPress header, and if I go into themes, you can see it's missing an index.php, and it also needs a CSS style sheet. So now I'm going to use brackets, which is my program of choice. And here we go. We've got the folder open here. Just double check it's the right one. Dev, go to my linear install, go to my theme, open that. There we go. Okay, so the first thing it needs to do is it needs to have a style.css sheet. And if we go to the WordPress codex, let's just open up Google and we'll go theme header. File header on the codex. So we're always looking, whenever we Google something, we're looking for that directory. So here's the plugin file header, and here is the theme header. So we just, and it goes into the style.css. So this is the 2013 one. So all we need to do is change the name, linear, and put in your own site, you as the author, And I'm just going to copy that for the description. Oops, where are you? Styles. Version 1, good new. Now you can have license, sorry, not your tags. I'm going to delete the tags. And text domain is where your language conversions are. So that's that done. Now the other thing we need to do is we need to have an index.php. So I'm going to take this index.html and I'm going to rename that so it's now index.php. That's just spits me an error, but that's now a PHP file. So if we go back into our themes and hit refresh, we can see we've got our theme here. Let's click on it, and version 1, Beaver Lodge HQ, blah, 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 blah. Now we've got no screenshot, so I'm just going to add that in. Now I do have one in my already created, which is just a screenshot. So if I open that, you can see it's just a screenshot. Now the dimensions for this are 880 pixels by 660. So let's just copy that and go back to our theme directory and just paste that in there. So now we'll just refresh this, and there we go. So it takes us, so you just need to have a screenshot.png file in there in the root directory of your theme, and that'll create it. So now if we reload, so if we visit our site, oops, let's activate our theme. So now we've got our theme activated. At this stage, we have not changed anything. All we've done is created a style sheet and changed the index to PHP. So nothing fancy yet. So let's go in and view the site and let's have a look. And bang, there's all our content, but it's ugly. Nothing's working. Everything's broken, but we are able to select our theme. Alright, so let's go in and start playing around with this. Now, when you're working with themes from WordPress, everything is broken up into lots of different files. So the first file I want to create is a header.php where we'll load all our header content. And the next one is we're going to call is footer.php. So the reason we have header and footer is because then we can call the header on every single page. So we create it once and then we can use it on multiple sites. And the way we do this is, what we want to do is we want to get all our header information. So if we look at that site, so everything up to welcome to linear, welcome to a linear, our featured. So this is all our header, everything above that. And we'll save that. And then we'll go to our header.php and we'll paste that in there. And we'll save that. Now if we go and review our page, review our site, you can see it starts at the welcome to linear. We haven't got any of our header. And that's because we haven't called it. Remember I said you could call the header in every single page. So all you need to do is go, this is a PHP command, so we need to open PHP using less than question mark PHP, get header. We don't want to execute any commands inside that, and then we just close out that PHP. If we hit save that and go back to our site, we can now see we've got the template edit, the menu. So we've got everything from the header loading in there. But it still looks ugly. And the reason for that is, if we look at our header, is because none of the style sheets are working. Now, the way WordPress works with calling style sheets and calling JavaScript, it's called enqueuing. So what we do is we enqueue these scripts. But in order to do that, right before this body, but after the head class, we need to go add a PHP function called PHP WP head. And what that essentially does, it's a hook. And what that actually allows it to do is we can add stuff into our head. So we can add a function, we can add style sheets, we can add scripts. And by default, when you enqueue style sheets, it enqueues to the head. When you want to enqueue JavaScript, it tends to enqueue it into the footer. But we haven't added anything into our footer yet. So let's jump back to our index. Let's find our footer, which is right up to here. Let's copy that and go and delete that. Go to our footer.php, paste that in. And once again, right before the closing body, we want to add in WP footer. So that way any JavaScripts get executed into the footer. And if you want to know more about these, head back over to your Google WP head and look for it in the codex. And there's all the information. So there's a do action for the WP head. And we can also search WP footer. And WP footer in the codex. And there's information about WP footer and how everything goes. Alright, so from once we've done that, if we refresh, we'll see we've still got our header. We've lost our footer because we've created our footer, but we haven't called it. So any guesses for how we do that? PHP, same way we did it for the header, get footer. Oops, type. And save that. Go back over, refresh, scroll down, and there's our footer. Okay, so we've got the basic structure of our header, our content, and our footer. Let's get our style sheets all loading. Now, in our footer, we're not enqueuing any scripts down here, so we don't have to worry about that. But in the header, we've got all these scripts from here and style sheets. So let's get rid of all that. Let's copy all that out and save that. And where we do that is we create a file called functions. So this is where we add in all our different commands. If you've ever played with hooks and filters, you probably and child themes, you probably know what functions.php is. So this is a PHP file, and we're only loading PHP in here, so we need to make sure we've got PHP content. Now I'm just going to enter down a few lines and paste those in so I can reference them. Okay, so what we need to do is function. We need to create a function. Let's enqueue. You can call this function whatever you want. I'm going to call it enqueue styles. And what we want to do is go add action. And in this action, we want to WP enqueue add to a hook, which is WP underscore MP enqueue scripts. So that is a hook that is featured in WordPress for us to add our scripts to. And what scripts we want to do are the ones that are in our function. So we just copy and paste that in there. Finish that off. So that is our function all taken care of. Okay, so first thing I want to do is WP enqueue our style sheet. And in this, we want to just enqueue our style. And it is get style sheet underscore URI. So what this WP enqueue style is, it's enqueuing this style.css. So any CSS we add in here will actually work. Now I'm just going to comment that out for now. And we'll just go down to our style sheet. Let's have a look at our header. So in our header, we have a H1 tag. So just to check that it's working, I'm going to jump into our style sheet and I'm going to go H1 color. Oops, wrong. Color. What color should we make this? Let's make it a nice fuchsia. This is just so we can see that it is working. So if we go and refresh our page now, so this linear should change color. And it didn't work. Why did that not work? Function style dot. Because it's a H1A tag. Probably. Let's try that again. Go refresh. No. And it isn't working. Okay. Right, let's just keep working on this. Let's just delete that. I don't know why that's not working, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's keep working on our function. So we've got our get style sheet URI and loading our style. Let's enqueue another style, and this one we'll make sure is font awesome. So because font awesome, we're not going to host that locally. We're going to get that from the font awesome. Now font awesome used to be, if we go to fontawesome.io, used to be when you used to get started, it used to have the CDN in there. Now they expect you to enter your email address and they'll email it to you. I've already done that, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go font awesome CDN, and here we go. We can find the CDN there. So what we need to do is copy that and paste that there. And what that will do is when we load up our style sheets, we will see the font awesome icons loaded up, which we can see in there. Mistake here. No, it's fine. Rename the function right. I'll get style sheet URI. So I'm going to skip the other style sheets. I'm just going to cut and paste them in, just so we can see what they look like. So we've got the Scale No Script, which is this one here. Sorry. Yep, and we've got the style desktop, which is this one there. And the last one we want to do is, then we want to add in the jQueries. Now this is loading the jQuery from the CDN. Now, WordPress already loads jQuery into it, so we just need to call it from WordPress. So we're loading a script now. We're not loading a style sheet. We're loading a script. So, but all we have to do is go jQuery. And that'll load the jQuery. Now, the next thing we want to load is we want to load the scale.min.js, and you can see we're calling that from our template, from our folder. So that's located over here in the JS. So we just want to copy that one across. Comma. And so we want to get, where are we? This one here. So we're working in the JS folder, and we are loading the scale.min.js. If you're losing me, don't worry. We'll go back and recap this because it is very much cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. And from there, we want to make sure we're loading it as an array, and we make sure we are loading it as jQuery. Okay, let's duplicate that line, and now we want the next one, which is the scale panels.js. Scalepanels.min.js. We want to duplicate that, and we want init.js. So all we're doing, these were all, remember we copied these from the header. So we're just referencing them in our enqueue because they don't load through them. So that's it. We've got jQuery loaded, we've got scale.min, we've got scalepanels.min, we've got init.js, we've got the scale no script.css, we've got the style. No, we don't have the style.css. We're referencing that up in there, but so didn't do. There we go. So now we've got all that. We can delete that because we just had it in there just for reference. Let's save that. So this is the, I know why that wasn't working. Functions.php. So that is why that, when we were testing that H1, it wasn't working. And there we go. So we've got our index all working because we've referenced all our CSS. Let's just check that style sheet was working. Let's see if I was right because I didn't call it functions.php. So let's go H1A color, and it was fuchsia. Save that. And you can see it's there, but it's been overridden by this logo A. And the reason being is because, let's head back to our functions. Our style sheet is getting loaded before our style.css. So if I just move that down the bottom, so it loads the style.css, the default one, and then loads our custom, and refresh. Still didn't load. Because logo. So let's go logo.a. And there we go. So we can see our style sheet is now working. So when we're looking at this, we've got 10 errors. So let's have a look at our console. And these are all for our pictures. And we've got 2 style sheets didn't load scale.min.js. But that's okay, we don't need those just yet. Let's look at the images and let's go and load those up. So the header image loaded fine. We've got our font awesome loading. So it's these images here. So let's go in and go to our media, go library, go add new, select files, and we go to our site, HTTP docs, WP content theme, linear, and go to our images, which are all these, and let's open these up. Okay, so at this stage, like I said, we're not loading the content dynamically from WordPress. Everything is, it's all fixed content. So we need to go into our style sheet, probably. If we look for header.jpg, there it is, and which is this one here. So what we want to do is get the WP content uploads, because remember, I'm not uploading into my folders because I turned that off at the start to put them in month and folders. So all we need to do is put that in there. Let's see if there's any other reference. .jpeg. There's 2 references, so we fixed one. Let's fix the other one. That takes care of those. And the other errors were, so we got pick 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's check in here, pick 01. So nothing in the style sheet. So let's go to our index because it won't be in our header. Let's go pick 01. There, and there they are. So we just double click on images, paste that in. 2, 3, and 4. Let's hit save. Let's refresh. And there we go. All our pictures are loaded. So let's just double recap the end of lesson 1. So what we managed to do is we uploaded our HTML static site to our theme in WordPress. We created the theme with a screenshot and gave it the theme a name and a description, so that way WordPress understood it. We changed our index.html to index.php, which will load the home page. We went in and we created our header.php, and we copied all the header information across. We did the same with our footer. We added in our WP footer and our WP head into those, so that way we could enqueue our style sheets and our JavaScripts. We then created a functions.php, and we enqueued all of our style sheets and all of our JavaScript that was being called in our header of our formerly index.html. And what we've been able to do now is load up the home page content just like it was on the demo site. So coming up in future lessons, in lesson 2, we're going to finish off doing the header. So we're going to load up the ability in the customizer to change the linear to a logo, or it'll be the site name. By templated will be the tagline for the site. We'll create a navigation menu so people will be able to create the menu within the WordPress menus, and we'll also add a function in the customizer to be able to change the header image. So in lesson 2 we will be working in the header, the functions.php and the style sheet to create all our content to customize the header dynamically through WordPress. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this first video, which is the free video going out. If you want to see more, you are going to have to sign up to see the rest. And to do that, you go to https://beaverlodgehq.com. So that's beaverlodgehq.com. Up the top there, you've got a link for training. And you can see June 16, HTML template to WordPress theme. So just go through, fill out all your details, and choose the online HTML WordPress theme, which will cost you $50 US. It'll take you straight through to PayPal to be able to pay that. Of course, you can also have a look at it joining for the off-canvas menu and the portfolio module, all being built as modules for Beaver Builder. Once again, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in upcoming videos.